You guys want to trash pick an old mower? See if we can bring it back to life. It's a roof. It's a roof. Anything under it? Why is this sitting funny? Because the wheels are sitting funny. What do you think? Want to give it a shot? Ooh. Ooh. Take that. That's a good worth to stop. All right, let me go throw that in the truck. Definitely in the free pile. A rough. Never heard of a rough. Go get it. While we're at it, we'll take them too. Well, that looks like a fine piece of machinery, if I do say so myself. Success rate of us bringing it back to life. What's your guess? I'm going to say 60% chance. As long as it really isn't blown up too bad, it should be okay. Checking to see what we got going on for what, you know. Feel like that's gonna come off. Let's go flip it on its side. Let's see what the underneath looks like. I see a bunch of like drilled holes in the deck. I don't see anything that's rotted out, but it definitely had some kind of like chute on the side of it there. The blade looks decent enough to use. The wheels are all funky. Not one of them's at the same height. I see one of the brackets are busted off. What's that, a fresh brake, huh? This one, it's off of that wheel. Maybe they tried adjusting it and it broke off and then they wheeled it out front. I said, I'm done. A rough roof mower. Never heard of them. And I'm sure they exist because here's one, but it's going to be a new one to me. How old is it? It's got that handle of like late 60s, and that, again, it's just my guess. We might be able to find a number or something off of the engine, if the engine is original. All right, let's start picking away at it and see what we have. And of course, we're going to start with the engine. So I pulled on it. It did pull, so we know that part of it at least works. Seeing the stain, let's get the air cleaner off of it, start pulling some stuff off, and doing an assessment. A lot of times the what's inside the gas tank really tells a story. Air cleaner. I think this is going to be one of the ones that turn the powder on us. Yeah, just gone. All right. Let's go see if it's a little butterfly in the inside moves. It does. Let's see, throttle linkage kind of moves. It's got some nesting something going on there. Can we get... I'd like to get the air cleaner off of there. Air cleaner. The fan shroud. I don't see a set screw holding that on, but we're gonna have a big nest underneath there, so I really want to get into it. Let me get some kind of pickle fork to get under it and to kind of support it and get it to pop off. Actually, let's unbolt it and see if it possibly the linkage goes with it. There's gonna be like an air vane governor underneath there. I would think stays with the motor, but what happens. Kind of going with it. Good. I didn't break it off. It wasn't. It was gonna put up a fight. And that linkage, I think, just fell out of there. It may not have points. I don't see a wire going underneath the magneto. What I'm looking at is from the coil. I'm looking from this coil to see if there's a wire coming off of it anywhere, and then going underneath this flywheel. That'll tell what kind of system it has on it. It's got a weird kind of gear drive pull start compared to most of them that kind of index from the top. Definitely cruddy. Let's see if we can see if there's anything in it. There is oil in it. That's good. Like I said, it does turn. Let's get the plug out of it. Just check and see what else does and doesn't work. Probably hit it with an air gun. Let me go hit it with an air gun before we take the plug out of it. And I'll cup over this, get some of the crap out of it. Wasn't on there very much. Half-inch drive. Half-inch drive. On a spark plug. And all of that. That's got some Earl happening in there, which in that kind of a way is a good thing. I'm going to go spray some in there while we speak. Just kind of give her a little. The piston is over to the side. Okay. Let's get the straw over there. There we go. Feels pretty good. As far as not having much drag on it. Let's give a yank on the pull start now. Let me back you up a little. I do see a wire going down below, but it might be just a ground for the coil. Let's go throw the plug back in it and see if we get any spark coming out of it. Where did it end up? There it is. Let's see a little spark for us. That needs a little squishing. Just a tad sloppy. Don't know. Let's go put that. Yeah, there's the ground strap. It's off the ground right now, so it does have spark. That's good. Sometimes that could be the hurdle, the big hurdle to get over, but it is sparking. Maybe we can try to get these wheels on some kind of level playing field. So it is that back one. And that one are kitty wampus. Let's go see if I can move. They're both on the same setting, yet the wheels are in totally different spots. We can pop you in the stand and see what we get. I want to try to put a little bit of gas down it, just kind of give it a quick fire. Yeah, we definitely cut some uneven grass. Let's see if any of them do anything. Oh, that's kind of weird. It levels out, kinda. Are they opposite of each other? better. We got a front one to go deal with. Let's see if we can get that front one to play. Just so it's not rocking around on the bench, you know. That's better, yeah. They must have cut some nice even grass, huh? All right, let's go get the plug back in it. I'll dribble a little bit of fuel in it. We'll give it a couple yanks, just see if it does anything. That plug's back in it. Try dumping some right down the carb. Where to put my hand. I was like, is it gonna stay running? Definitely blowing some smoke, but that's okay. Let's go. Sounded pretty good actually too, huh? Got the cap off. Want to take a peek? Wants to live. I love the old stuff. You know, definitely got a pile of rust right there. The upper part looks like it, like wherever it was parked, water formed right there, just kind of sat. All right. As far as the carb, these are a pretty simple system. There's not much to them. It doesn't have a float bowl like a regular carb does. It just constantly pumps fuel around in a circle, and it fills up a little cup, and then when the cup overfloweth, it just goes back into the tank, and then a jet just draws off that little cup as it needs it. I think let's go put it back in the stand. I'm gonna fire it up again and let it run just for a little bit. I'll keep kind of like feeding it with the bottle just to keep it running, and I just want to see if that smoke kind of goes away. If not, then you know the bottom, the rings are going to be beat on the motor. But let's go see. It's funny how people throw mowers away. Yeah, like a modern mower. It seems like you get like 5 or 6 years out of them, and they're pretty much done. Let's go give that. And then I'm going to go feed it with the bottle, try to keep it running. I don't know what it's running on. It seems like it runs alongside afterwards. Good. Yeah, a little smoky. Who knows? This thing could have been on its side or something. So we know we have a decent engine to work with, and it's not shaking like crazy, so it's not a bent crank or anything. I think it'd just be fun just to kind of go through it and see if we could bring it back enough to cut grass. I'm not going to go paint it or anything, but yeah, let's go see what we can do with it. So the problem with the gas tank is once you take it apart, if you don't have gaskets for it, you get kind of screwed. Half of me is kind of like wanting to go just blow that rust out of it and kind of scrape it where it is. Try putting some gas in the tank and see if it'll actually even function. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Yeah. Let me see what I can do about, let's just first just hit it with an air gun. And I'll probably just go in there and like scrape at it a little bit and see if we can get it to go. I don't think there's any kind of fuel filter or anything in it. Like I said, it's just kind of, it has like a pump system that just goes around and around and fills up a cup. Once the cup is full, it just overflows. On these two, you could always get them to run if you fill the tank all the way up to the top, because that little cup will be saturated in fuel and it'll pretty much run. But it'll only run for like the first 20% of the fuel tank. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but that was a lot of dust that came out of that. I'm gonna look inside there. Yeah, I might take a little screwdriver and we'll just kind of like scrape at it. And I'll do it again, just where, because I could see it and I can access it. I'm gonna give that about 5 minutes of my love. That's all I got. So I'm not sure if that's bad juju or not. I went to go grab my coffee and I wore it and I dumped it. But is it bad or is it good because I still saved 2 inches of it? So there's that. That's how you look at these things, right? That could be just a sign I've had enough coffee. Okay, let's go give it. I don't want to fill up that cup because I want to see if it's processing it, you know what I mean? We are at about 1 inch in the bottom of the tank. It should be below that. Let's prime it so that at least it'll run. And here's the cap. And then we'll just see if it stays running. We'll know if it's working. And if it don't, we'll dig in. I'm in one of those moods today. How much I feel like tearing something apart. Shall we? Fading a little bit, but it seems like it's staying running. We'll let it do its thing for a while. This is where you got to be cautious. You go to move it or something, you don't put your hand near the mower deck. You forget sometimes. You get so into what you're doing, you're not really understanding what's happening around it. There's a blade right on the other side of this. There's not much of a mower deck here, so that blade is literally, you know, flush with the side of that. Running. Thing starts on the first pull too. Let's give her some more RPMs. And it died. Alright, let's go up, make sure it still runs, fire back up again. The only thing I think of is that it doesn't have the air cleaner on it, and it's too lean. Now we did it. It's the other way around. I think it's getting too rich. Too much fuel. Not consistently staying running. Let's let's go pop the bolt back in the center of the carb. That may be opening a chamber that's not supposed to be. All right. Or it's not pumping enough fuel around to fill that little cavity, and it's using it up too fast. I thought we were going to get away without taking the tank off, but I think we are going to take the tank off. So let's go take the tank off. It always works that way. All right, so there's the tank and carb can come off together, which they're attached together. You can unbolt them and you pull the whole assembly off of there. I think we go a bolt there, a bolt there. There might be another one underneath that helps support it. Let's get that out of the way. I also want to get this pull start off. I think it's going to need a little bit of love as far as like lube. And what else we got? Come on, beepers on there. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, another bolt there. Okay, let's do some investigation. That bolt's loose. Should be a 1/2 inch. Let's rephrase that. The bolt was tight, but it was loose. And what we got for a throttle, it's going to come apart for us. Let's see if we can just leave that rod right there. There we go. We got her. Go dump it out, see what it looks like. Now that we washed it. We'll see how my cleaning did. Whether I got it all or not. There's a couple of pieces from the outside of the tank. Looks pretty good actually. It's just dirt from the outside falling in. Alright, let's go pop this in the vise with a rag around it. And we'll get these screws out of it and we'll pull the whole assembly up. That's where you get kind of screwed. Oh, it's got an air fuel mix on it. Awesome. You might have been able just to adjust that out. Yeah, the other thing that calls out its age too is the fact that it's regular screws instead of Phillips. Flatheads on it. It is definitely springtime. You could tell all the stuff too is getting put out on the side of the street. All the yard sales are starting. Everybody's contacting me with stuff that they want to get rid of, which is good. It's good for video too. Seems like a lot of motorcycles, and I got a lot of mine that you haven't even seen yet that are gonna come popping out. Some to keep, some to kick to the curb. Let's go. How many times do I say alright in the video? It's like a drinking game, isn't it? You're gonna pop. This is where you break the gasket, you know, unfortunately. Okay. So it's all it really has, like I said, is a little pump. Actually feels like it's moving. The screens don't look too dirty on the pickups. So this is the one it runs off of. This is the one that's the fuel pump, goes to the bottom of the tank and just keeps recirculating the fuel into a chamber. We'll get you on top. I'll show you. So like I say, that's the pump. It pumps fuel through the system. And then there's this cavity right here that it's filling up. That cavity right in there. And that's what it draws from. And then the excess just dumps right back down into the tank and just continues a constant flow. So that's how it maintains a float ball. It doesn't have a needle and seat like a regular carb does. And that's how they work. It's got some dirt in it. Again, we're going to go clean them out. And like I said, there's not much to them. A lot of times these will crack or these will get filled up. I see a little sit on that one right there. The diaphragm feels pretty good. And we'll get that air fuel mix out of it. It gets a pulse from the engine, how it works, how that diaphragm works. When the engine, the piston's firing back and forth, it makes like a vacuum pressure kind of thing. And that pulse gets sent down through it's actually being fed through the carb, which allows that diaphragm to move a little bit, which makes that fuel pump operate off that little pulse circuit. Half, 1 1/4 out is where it was. Should be some. I'm gonna leave that packing alone. That's in there. That's like a washer with a rubber O-ring behind it. But I'm gonna just blow through all the passages with some kind of carb clean on a hose. Yeah, it's definitely dirty. Look how chalky that needle is. There's a little. That's a check valve right there. Another one there. I'm gonna try to avoid giving them too much of a disturbance. There's a choke setup in there. That may be just enough so it runs, and then when you rev it up, it changes, or it might be like a bimetal as the engine gets hotter. That may automatically open up. I'm not sure on that. Then we get another chamber in here. Yeah. So that's for the choke. I might work off a vacuum. I'm not sure. Or again, that might be as it heats up, it pulls the choke off. It all looks like it's supposed to be doing what it's doing, so I'm going to leave well enough alone. Especially when you don't have a kit for anything, right? You're one piece of damage away from it. Not doing. I'm glad that the diaphragm feels pretty good. This is still pliable. Still may be the death of it, but right now it seems like it's pliable, and the little valves seem to be okay. I'm going to go blow it out a little bit of compressed air, put it back together. After put the gas tank carb back on, let's get the old oil out of it. I'm just going to flip it up on its side. There's a plug underneath it, but sometimes they could be even more trouble than it's worth. This will make a little bit of a mess. Let's see if I can do this right. There we go. There ain't much in them anyway. Let's see any sparklies. It was good too that we were able to run it a little bit, got a little bit of runtime on it because it heated up the oil and got it to kick up the dirt that's in the bottom of it. That's about it. Watch your fingers. Now it's got an oil in it. Let's go deal with the blade. So we're going to happen in here. I'm going to yank the plug out of it. Safety third. And I'm just going to take my finger, feel what that blade touches. They seem to be the same spot. That's good. I'm going to do the same for this spot. Yeah, this one's maybe a little higher. Not much. 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of it. Not enough to worry about. Yeah, that's the drain plug that you can use, but a lot of times that's not happening. Let's go. Just take your. I'm not going to bother taking the blade off. I'm just going to go hit it with a grinder, and we're going to go clean up that leading edge and that leading edge on the mower deck blade. That's about everything that's doing work. Nothing else is doing anything. That's why it's got a little bit of a curve to it. They're actually not even terrible. It still has a bit of a edge to it. And might as well play with the wheels too while it's up on end, right? You tell the difference between stuff that was old and new. Like this is probably just like a base model mower. It's got grease fittings on it, and it's got bearings in the wheels. Today it's just plastic. Choo choo. I can come off of there. I kind of wanted to get to the adjusters. I know the one and the other, and we have to get to because it's broken off. Let's see, a little bit of persuasion will help. I'm not going to give it too much. There you go. We can say too much effort, but I want to be able to get to that. Is that it turns? I think we just kind of lube it up right where it is. I'm not even going to bother taking it apart. We'll just shoot some stuff in, on, and around it. We'll just kind of like clean it with WD first. Put them in the... Free up all the junk with it with an air gun. Looks like there's a nice little access hole right there. There's like a chain lube. That's a little too foamy, huh? Nope, don't want that. I think you got to be a little... Seems to roll pretty good. I'm gonna leave well enough alone. Pretty much gonna do the same to the other ones. The one that's broke, I'll bring you back on the other one that's broke. And we'll see. That one we'll have to probably take apart a little bit better. May have to weld something. Alright, we're down to the last one. I was working on it, putting the cotter keys back in. I had a flashback of the Little Rascals. You guys remember those Little Rascals episode where they're building the go-kart? They had to go show off to, what was the kid's name? Waldo? Waldo always had the fancy stuff. And hung out with Darla. And they said they had a go-kart. And they're building a go-kart out of all this kind of junk. And I'd say it was Spanky. They're putting wheels on it. Now it's got like 8 wheels down each side of it. He's like, all right, hand me a wheel. Hand me a wheel. And I think Spanky's just handing him, he takes the wheel off. They shuffle over one. He keeps handing him the same wheel over and over again. That's what I felt like I was doing when I was doing these. You want to come off of there without a fight? Oh, your other friends needed a little bit of help. I don't suspect you to be any different. We ain't got no brakes. Bearing stayed behind. It is broken right there. Now what? So is that like totally around from itself? The lever is what catches the teeth. Let's go find the lever that fell off of it. It's here somewhere. Alright, so this, did it come all the way over like that? So there's the little detent. How was that? Well, it can't be covering the bolt hole, right? I should have looked at the last one I did. It would have to be... Let's go see if we can get this one to spin. I would think it was something like... I wonder if we're missing another piece. It looks like something may have been over like that. Oh, you know what it was? It didn't break. It came out. I bet you it was just kind of tucked over and locked in like that. You agree? To get that bolt out of it, get it apart. Yeah, I bet you it's just like spring loaded holding the tab. This is like a spring. Let's try it with wrenches. You can't get a... So much meat on top. Curious how it looks like inside there anyway, right? I have a feeling the nut threads in and then this piece threads onto something else. Maybe not. Nope. Smack it with a hammer. Yeah, I think this is threaded onto here yet. Let's go pop this in the vise just to hold it. Let's see if that'll come out. We don't need to stick it in with a thinking vise. So yeah, I think that's the deal. Let me work on that. What do we got inside there? Yeah, and just a couple of friction surfaces. That is all. It just kind of rotates around on it, and our little door flapper thing there, little gate. So depending on which maybe direction you go, that would be like that, right? And that's it. We just kind of like lock into wherever that location is. Is that the one that it was on, you think? That one or that one? That one looks like it has more rust, huh? So would it have been... I should probably look at it. It's going to be the same as the back wheel. All right. You think it was like that? It's a 50-50 shot. More than likely, I'll get it wrong. So you think this was the fate that took it out? They didn't want to deal with. They went to go adjust the wheels that were all wacky. Uh-oh. Oh no! I thought I broke it. Good. Then we can rotate it from there. Now let's go see if I got it the right way. Well, I think it's right. They seem to be like the levers are at the same point and they're pivoting at the same amount. I think one of the back ones are backwards though, because this one is indexed. Look how close the wheel is to the thing there, and then this one is the opposite. We'll worry about that later. Yeah, I think that's how that one goes. I'm gonna go lube that one up just like I did the others. Put it back together. They see me rolling. They got me rolling. Looks pretty good. Those back two, I'm gonna leave alone. If I flip it around, not quite sure how that would work out. They both, like I set them all first, in the middle of the clicks, and they seem good. Mower deck is a little too low for grass cutting. Then I set them all about 2 away from max. There's even much more adjustment too on it though. Each one you could change the hole that they're in, so you could adjust it up and down. I think it's 5 different slots on that, and then you have a good 2.5 inches of swing on each wheel. All right, let's go finish putting her back together. Get some oil in it, get the gas tank on it. We got to deal with that pull start. And it's getting whatever I got laying around, which is conventional 1040. It probably took like a straight 30 weight, but I found through history that he's pretty much, as long as you have something in them. They're not very picky. Yeah, probably like a 1030 or a straight 30. Might have been what was in it. I don't know, maybe we give that pull start the same kind of treatment we did the wheels. She's a little wee. WD for the cleaning. Just let that kind of go. Blow that out, compressed air. Come back with a little bit of That would have been a good idea to try to catch that on film, though, wouldn't it? Set away over there. What are you doing? Reenactment. Blew that with WD-40, then I hit it with compressed air, and then I shot some of this in there in certain locations. Good. Well, the only casualty I found so far is that bolt that went in there was stripped out, not enough meat to get it, so I got an Allen head bolt, a little bit longer than this one, which caught threads and it's tight. That might have been why that carb was shaking so much earlier. Don't know. I remember I just buzzed it out, so I don't know if it was stripped out sitting in there or it took some threads when I removed it. Got this aluminum casting in there. I think we are get the plug back in it, and we'll leave the air cleaner off for a little bit. We'll fire it up. Yeah, go through, clean the plug. I'm going to put that in, and we'll leave it off before we put the tin on it. Yeah, seems awkward, but okay. I think I might have overfilled it. I did, and it pushed that right up out through the carb. I gotta draw some of that down. She's a tad rich. To deflood it. Turn down that idle. How slow do you think you can make it go? Then grounds out and shuts off. Good, sounds good. It's gonna be a little different once the air cleaner's back on it in the fan shroud because it's gonna have a little bit of drag. I don't know if I have a filter for that. I'm gonna look. Possibly I do. Again, this is just, you know, yeah. You don't. That's the opposite of a filter. So, all right, let me go button the rest of that up. See what we can go find for an air cleaner. Worst case, I'll get like a piece of sponge or nothing in there. Went scrounging around. I did not find the correct one, but you guys were nice enough to drop off a bunch of stuff. I think we can make one out of. Make sure that's an air filter, right? Yeah. Oh, that's close. And there's a couple of these big old spongy ones. I think if I can get... because it draws down through the center of it. So as long as I can get that somewhat surrounded. Will that work? Where's the lid? So what does it do? What do it do? Yeah, if any of the holes are... yeah, any of the holes that are open, it's not going to work. So we're going to go take this one. And this has got a little maxi pad looking thing to it. We get still. Let's keep going. Trying to find one that's wide enough to cover. It's probably the same thing, right? All right, I'm gonna go carve one, probably out of this. And how would that work? Nope. I don't know. I'm gonna do my best to make one out of something here, and maybe we'll piece in the last piece. There we go. That's the answer. We'll shove this one over to the side, cut a thing, and then we're gonna go take that and cut a thing, and then we have a thing. Well, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's a lot better than what was gonna be in there, which was nothing. All right. I think we're all back together. It's in the start position. Put your foot there, it says. That's pretty good. Almost like everything works. Imagine that. All right, let's go see if drink again. By the way, if I said it right. Have some crabgrass or something. It's still early in the season. I don't know if I have anything to try to go cut, but I'll go try to find something anyway. Well, the grass hasn't been cut for this year yet. Springtime. Good grass. We call it weeds. Let's go try it out. See how it does. Seems pretty good. Might be able to tweak the air fuel mix a little bit, but definitely does what it's supposed to be doing. Cut weeds. Kind of like an old school mower. It's brought me back to the 70s, cutting my parents' grass. No self-propel, no safeties, no nothing. Just a mower. This thing will run for another 50 years. It's not that simple. All right, let's go in the garage. Talk a little. Hey guys, we're back in the old home garage. Home sweet home. The machines are starting to back up a little bit. There is, I think we did this one last summer. It was the old reel mower. That's something like for very fine cut grass. That one did very well. It's a McLean and McLean. We got the roof, go on the roof, and we got an old snowblower from, I'm guessing, the 50s with those steel wheels and everything, and the covers back in there. All of these, anybody lives in the, I'm in southern New Hampshire. I ain't got too much stuff. I'm starting to get rid of stuff. They are given away for free. So if someone is local who would like one of them, all of them, I'll put it under the video if the stuff is gone, so you know it's there or not, and we can try to figure it out from there. But I got to start purchasing some stuff, and I figured the kind of best way to do it maybe is to give back. Or if you have something that's complete that's been sitting forever that would make for good video, and you want to trade and say, hey, I get this thing's been sitting in the barn for 30 years. If you want to try making a video, bringing that back to life, and I'll do the same. I'll kick that one to the curb and maybe start a pattern that way. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But not the tractor. Yeah, the tractor. Not yet, anyway. Well, any of these three are up for grabs, and I'm probably going to start getting rid of some more stuff, too. So if you have an interest, feel free. All three of them ran when they were put in here. I would suspect that one shouldn't be an issue, that one shouldn't be an issue, and that one's probably just got some old gas in it, and that should run. You know, I don't know if you'd really use it for its intended purpose. It did work pretty good at the time for blowing snow, better than I thought it would. But these two could actually be put back to work. That one and that one could definitely do some grass cutting. So let me know. We'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a little bit of fun. Again, that kind of brings me back to the 70s, cutting my parents' lawn as fast as I could, running back and forth. We had one. It was self-propelled. It had like this bar that went across the front that you lift up on the handlebars, and it had little wheels that would drive the front wheels. So I used to stand on it and lift the mower deck handle up and ride it across the yard. It was my first go-kart. Alright, guys, with that, thank y'all for hanging out. Have a little bit of fun bringing stuff back to life from this side of the road, and hopefully this summer we'll have more of that. Till then, I'll see you later.